Teleopti, or initially teleoptimering, was born due to the fact I was at Anis at my present employer. And then at a large fair in Geneva called Telecom 86, I saw a big picture of the analog voice and the merger of digital communication coming together. And then I understood that in that context, something big will happen. And then I took it a bit further and made an algorithm how to optimize voice over digital communication networks in an economically optimal way. That was the thing.
Well, Nils and I actually met at Digital Equipment where we worked at that time. And Nils was constantly very, very dissatisfied with his managers. So I think that was I started to realize that maybe he shouldn't have a manager. And then he has this great idea about business. So we thought, let's try to do something on our own. We wanted to control our life, to control our work. We have small kids, we wanted to work both of us, but under our own conditions. So I think that was very important in the start.
Initially, we didn't have any money at all. So in order to form the company, I borrowed 50,000 Swedish crowns from my father, which we still have a receipt on. And then it was about managing the company like a wallet, cash in, cash out. And there's always had to be some kind of cash in the wallet. Then, with added colleagues and customers, we added grow more communication into the whole thing. And we saw that we could grow substantially.
The catalyst for our move into the US was that we had basically covered all the other parts of the world. The US was left for us. That was the most competitive and largest market.
Initially, when we looked at North America, we were excited, but also frightened. So many advisors had told us that it's a very difficult market to conquer. And we had our focuses elsewhere. We had been spending effort and energy into Asia, China, and we could not simply do everything at the same time.
For the first time in many years, we were suddenly the smallest player in the big pond. That wasn't the case in Europe, where we had grown into being a well-known, respectable player. Suddenly in the US, we were nothing. So that was a key challenge to turn that around and start the journey of Teleopti becoming on a fast growth track in the US.
Teleopti really took off in mid-2014 when we were able to acquire a large customer that kind of gave us the air under our wings to invest, and that's when we started to build out the West, and that really was the founding part for the growth.
Web.com was one of the early adopters of Teleopti here in the US. We are astonished by the growth of the platform, knowing that today there's many more customers than just Web.com and a few other customers as there was in the early days. What we believe really is driving this is, again, their focus on the customer and focus on experience. It's one of the only companies that you can really tell a feature that you would like in the tool and actually see that happen in reality very closely to when you've suggested it. In addition, we looked at Teleopti as a business and found that they had an extreme focus on customer values, and that really lined directly up with our company's vision.
I think a key success factor for us has been that we've been able to move key talents from different core functions from the head office in Stockholm to our business here in the US. That has helped with knowledge transfer and a much more speedy time to market with our new hires in the US. Head office in the US is New York, but the main staff pool is in Denver, where we have all of our kind of after-sales staff. We have a large pool of guys in Dallas, and people are scattered kind of home-based across the different states to cover and be closer to customers and partners, basically. So the plan for Teleopti Americas is to continue our growth path. We want to deepen our partnership and find new partners where needed and where the market takes us. As a team, we're also investing hard into CALA and Central and Latin America, and we want to continue to build upon our success in the US by leveraging that into those markets. And I think Teleopti's success is really built on the fact that we are still small enough to be agile, but we're also large enough to be able to handle the most complex WFM process there is. So finding that balance in between is the secret sauce for Teleopti, I think.
So at Teleopti, we've been really fortunate to work with some of the world's best contact centers, and they have helped us and guided us to the right functionality at the right time.
There's a famous quote by the founder of LinkedIn saying that if you're not embarrassed when you release your first version, then you launch too late. At Teleopti's R&D department, we stay cutting edge by listening to our customers. So we release early, listen to our customers, get the feedback, and release a new version that is even better, even more cutting edge.
So working Agile means that we have a close collaboration with the customers, try to listen to them, deliver as quickly as possible to get their opinions. It also means that we ship incrementally what we've developed. It means that we're prioritizing very hard on what is most valuable at this point of time.
I mean, we know our customers pretty well, but we don't know the problem as well as the customers. So we figure out a process of using the system, and when you actually watch a customer work, then you say, all right, so they never use that functionality, or they always go from this view to this view. Let's make that simpler.
An Agile team at Teleopti is a very small team of a few members of like 4, maximum 5 people. That means that we have back-end developers, means that we have front-end or web developer, which is absolutely needed for moving to the clouds. And we have also what we call a QA member, which is a tester in this group. And this is a setup that has proven to be very efficient and high performant with these teams.
It's also been a lot of focus in recent years to get developers out there and meet customers and see we're simplifying their everyday lives a lot, and feel proud about that is important.
So what makes cloud really interesting for Teleopti and for our customers is that our customers can focus all their efforts on the project itself, on improving their operations. They don't need to focus any efforts on the IT, they leave that to us. Together we can work focusing on operations strategy to create results for them.
You know, when we started the company, I didn't know anything about tele-optimization or workforce management, but I had a very clear vision of what kind of company I wanted to build together with Nils. And that was the kind of company where people really liked to go to their job.
So at Teleopti we have very strong values about humanizing the workplace, basically to make it a great place to work for our employees. Now, we think the same about our customers. We want them to be able to provide not only cost savings and efficiency customer service to their customers, we also want them to do that in a humane way.
If you ask people what they like about their work, the first thing they say, and that's all over the world, that's the colleagues. It's the colleagues and the possibility to develop yourself. That's what people want to have. So let's try to create a company which have that culture where that is possible.
So we believe that employee engagement comes from several different areas, starting with work-life balance, being able to choose when to work, when not to work. Second area is empowerment, be able to do that from anywhere through your smartphone. Third one is competence development. Everyone loves to learn, And this is something we want to make sure happen by scheduling, e-learning, coaching, etc. And finally, motivation. Motivation comes from understanding how you perform and how you can perform better. Gamification is a perfect example of that.
Our company values are speed, commitment, closeness and professionalism. And I would say that when those 4 values work together, it creates a work environment that is great. We try to help each other. We're prepared to go the extra mile for the customer. We are kind to each other. Today, when I look back at Teleopti and the journey that we have made, I feel very proud about all the nationalities working for us, and also, of course, the company culture. And seeing all those young people coming to us directly from the university, growing, like Ola, the CEO today, for example, that was his first job after his graduation, and now he's running our company. I mean, that makes me really proud that we have been able to make people grow. That's a great feeling.